Welcome to Season 2 of Red Sox Digest, the only show where pain, sarcasm, and false hope collide nightly, like a Masataka Yoshida ground out to second. We break down every loss, every meltdown, and the occasional win, with sarcasm, facts, and no front office spin. Subscribe today at RedSoxDigest.com, or keep wondering how a wildcard team spent an entire offseason avoiding power hitters. And now, here's the crew at Red Sox Digest.
Hi, everybody, and welcome to Red Sox Digest. We hope everybody is enjoying their night. Happy Father's Day to those out there who do celebrate and are fortunate enough to have their dads in their life. Or if you are a dad, congratulations as well, too, on your blessing. I am joined tonight by the one and only, the Mr. Martinello Minute. He's here. John is in the house. John Martinello. Welcome in, John. Before we get over to John, just a couple things I want to go over first before we get into going over the series and some more. The last show that we were with you, that was Thayer and I. We set a record here. We did. Sorry, John. No, I'm only teasing with him.
Happens
John
to the
and
best
Jim
of us.
were not here. We set a record, and a lot of it was stemming from the Marcelo Mayer tweet that I put out regarding the Instagram share and everything like that. That ended up getting over 1 million impressions on Twitter. And I never in a million years thought that something that ridiculous could turn into such a frenzy. And it wasn't done because of spite. It wasn't done because I dislike the player. It wasn't done from any of that. It was done because I'm looking for players to be held accountable, to be professionals, to be major league players, to hold themselves to a standard. It wasn't him that put the picture up. It was the girlfriend. Okay. I understand the whole reshare thing. My biggest thing that I was going over with that from when we were last here on Thursday was there's a time and a place for everything. That was legitimately right after the game, especially when your season hasn't gone right. It was screaming for attention. I did not want to be that guy. Just to be honest with all of you, I did not want to be that guy that would have to talk about something like that. But because of how the season's gone, because of how the team has been, because of how everything's just a mess and in turmoil, it needed to be talked about, whether people agreed with it or not. He has full right to have a girlfriend. There's people out there that will come, who the hell are you saying he can't have a girlfriend? What are they supposed to do? That is nothing to do with it. It had to do with being a time and a place for something like that. And he should have held the brakes there, at least until morning, at least. And I think that would have been more so okay. John, you weren't there for that historic show. Would you like to add anything to the equation here?
Yeah, I mean, only thing I would add is I think that you laid everything out perfectly during the last show, where a lot of people were very upset with the tweet. Took it in a way that I don't necessarily think. Could you have quote unquote worded it better? Maybe. But I think that your delivery and how you like truly felt about everything, you said perfectly on the show. So if anybody wants to go back and rewatch it, you said it yourself.
I mean, I got death threats.
Yeah.
I got death threats. I did.
You were, upset with just like, as you said, time and place for things, which, everybody's entitled to their own opinion. So whether you agree with that, great. If you don't, it is what it is. You don't have to. But I think that it was blown out of proportion a little bit. And obviously you like to have fun with things too.
That's my favorite one right there.
There you go. A lot of people take, why are you saying he's a grizzly bear? But it's just a graphic. But listen, Marcelo Mayer was not supposed to play on Friday. He
Correct.
took a different plane than the rest of the team over to Seattle. He was out of the lineup. Isaiah Kiner-Falefa was in the lineup. He was then later scratched. Marcelo was put in. At the time, I really thought that Mayer was like screaming at Chad Tracy to just put him in the lineup because of tweet. And then obviously IKF goes down on the IL. But listen, Mayer played in the 2 games that they won. He played really well. The bat showed, the glove showed. Obviously today there was a mistake there at shortstop, but they weren't winning today anyways. When you get 5 hits, you get 4 guys I think 2 guys in scoring position. You're getting picked off. You're scoring on a ball that was caught in the outfield. But Mayer, as far as this Mayer thing goes, I really just think that it was blown way out of proportion. I'm sure that you were just blown away about how much,
I was dumbfounded. I was dumbfounded because when I first put it up, I was like, well, should I say something? Should I not? I was using this as more so a lesson for us fans in general to understand that there's no leadership. There's no accountability. These players can do whatever they want, and there's no ramifications. There's no disciplinary action. There's no nothing. People can squawk all they want that Cora was a player's manager and everything. Yes, he was a player's manager, but there were rules and standards. There isn't any on this team right now. It's a free-for-all circus.
Yeah, I mean, listen, under Cora, guys got benched for 1 or multiple days for, a lot of different things, whether it was showing up a couple minutes late or, saying something to the media that maybe they shouldn't have. It doesn't matter. Like Cora disciplines his players when he was here. And obviously Chad Tracy doesn't have, I want to say, the merit maybe to do that yet. But you saw it during spring training. You could
also say he doesn't have the balls enough to do it either.
Yeah, no, 100%. But we saw with Mayer over in spring training, Cora didn't promise him anything. Cora said he had to earn a spot. And granted, did he actually have to earn a spot? I don't think so.
It was a push.
Yeah. And
in my eyes, it was a push to get the best out of him. And I still think maybe I was public enemy number 1 on that flight to Seattle. Maybe I was. Maybe this was the kick in the ass he needed to jumpstart him. He had a great game Friday night after pretty much not having such a great June, to be honest with you. I think he's hitting $150 or something for the month of June. Not very good. And then he turned it around last night. Granted, it was an infield hit, but we'll take those infield hits, which was an RBI. That was producing. That was getting the job done. That was putting the ball in play and making the opponent have to field it and make that play. And Marcelo Mayer was successfully able to do that. I'll take that 9 times out of 10. Now today, right back to normal. Maybe I should have put this out again to remind him, hey, no tweeting, no Instagramming, no snap facing. Oh, that's a Belichick thing. No snapping during the before the game or after the game. None of that. Or I'm going to come and get you. Something like that.
Mm-hmm.
But no, I was glad that we were able to talk about it. Thayer and I did on Thursday. I'm glad you're able to offer your 2 cents into the matter. And now we can actually get into what we want to, which is the series. Crazy. We haven't even talked about really that yet. But the Red Sox were able to take 2 of 3. It was a series win. Baby steps. Today was a clunker. I want to go back to Friday first. That was the game where you had Ranger Suárez. And one of the things that really bugged me about this game had really nothing to do about the players. It had to do with, there's a no-hitter coming. Oh, watch out. He hasn't given anything up. And then, boom, 7th inning comes, and I think it was Julio Rodriguez broke it up.
Yeah, I mean,
why does Dave O'Brien have to do this?
I was a part of the problem, too. I was saying it, too.
Oh, shut your freaking mouth. You too.
Do it every time. But no, I mean, listen, we all knew something there was. We knew it wasn't going to last. I mean, what did Thayer say? Because the Red Sox, I think they put up, I want to say 5 runs. I think it was in the
Friday's game was 6-2.
Inning that was.
Oh, in the
they put up 4.
Okay.
They put up 4 in the top of the 7th, and then I think Thayer said it in our group chat. He said Suárez has been sitting. Watch what happens, and then I think it was a walk to Cal Riley, and then immediately the J-Rod hit, which it stinks. You know, I think one was the last no-hitter still Clay Buchholz, or was Lester didn't throw one, didn't he?
Clay Buchholz threw a no-hitter. John Lester threw a no-hitter. That's the last one. John Lester.
Yeah.
2008. 2007 was Clay Buchholz. Yes, that's what it was.
So well over a decade of it'll come one day. I mean, we've ton of guys have flirted with it. Last year,
it was wild. Your 2000s to 2010s, you had your Hideo Nomos, you had your Derek Lowe's, you had Clay Buchholz after that, and then John Lester. So we haven't had a no-hitter since 2008.
And I mean, last year Crochet carried one into the 8th inning, and then of course Chase Mydroth with his first career hit. Earlier this year, Ranger Suárez almost had one. I think that was in Toronto, and then obviously on a Friday night. But 6 2/3 innings out of him, the one hit, 5 strikeouts. He's down to a 2.93 ERA on the year, so back under that 3 number. And again, I think we said it after his last start too. He's just like, we were promised a number 2 pitcher. He's got a number 2 pitcher. Yeah,
I have no issues whatsoever. I know at the beginning of the season there was that fatigue issue going on with the WBC into spring training at the start of the season, and he wasn't really ready to ramp up. I'm not going to knock him for that. It was an odd spring training with WBC mixed into the fold there. I don't want to make excuses for it, but he just wasn't ready. Plus the fact the season starts so early. It's late March. We're usually in mid-April sometimes when these seasons begin. So it is what it is. I'm not going to hold it to it. I'm grateful that he's been able to pitch effectively and be somebody that has been a breath of fresh air to be anchored into the rotation. Without a doubt, been the number 2. Would be nice to have a 1, but your 1 is on the bench because the training staff and the medical staff can't get their shit together. That's another story for another day. Don't get me mad. They'll just put me on a tangent. Now for Saturday night, that was the Connelly Early start. Now, I don't know if Connelly Early has the Brian Bayo disease going on for the first inning, but the first inning was a rocky roller coaster. He did let up just 1 run, but there were 2 hits. It was interesting, his start, because he had no control. The amount of hit batters and walks was very scary. It was like he was walking that tightrope.
Yeah, I mean, he's the type of guy that is typically somewhere between that like 63 to 70% strike rate. I believe he was down to 54% in this start. So
right,
and that's been a problem that he's been dealing with for a while now, where he's, he gets to those, that 1-2 or 0-2 count, and then again, you said Bayo. He does this Bayo thing where it's trying to get too cute, trying to get that swing and miss on a pitch way outside of the strike zone, where when he's been the most effective, he's just pounding the strike zone. But
is that
on the
mental
bright side,
thing, John?
I'm not sure. I honestly think that it's more of just a game planning thing. With scouting on all the opposing hitters, I think it's just, hey, they have tendencies, and we want to try to exploit them. And listen, that doing that is all and great. Executing it's a different story. I'm sure that obviously his command's been not as dominant as it could be, and though it is what it is. He gave up those 2 hits in the first. He threw 6 innings. He didn't give up a hit after that, and nor did any pitcher for the Red Sox on Saturday. So 8 2/3.
That was a dazzler. Between the bullpen, we had a combination of, was it Guerrero, Garrett Whitlock, and who threw the last inning?
Colomb. It was Guerrero, Whitlock, and Colomb.
Yep. So that was nice to see there. Now we get to today. Payton Tolle gave you a quality start. I just want to flat out say that right now. Was he his best and most sharp? No. But when you give 3 runs or less, that should be a winnable ball game. But going into the series, what we all said, first of all, I didn't think the Red Sox were going to take 2 or 3 from the Mariners. I thought the Mariners were going to take all 3. So Logan Gilbert just dealt today. He just did. He was on his game, fooled everybody. There was really nothing that could be done outside of Nate Eaton with the tall jack in was it the second inning or was it the first?
I think it was the top of the third. Top of the third.
Top of the third. We'll go top of the third. That was your offense that you had from today. I think today's theme, I don't know why it was, but they just seemed checked out today. Like they did enough to get 2 wins and they were satisfied with that. That's what it felt to me.
Yeah, no. That's another thing. Matt, thanks for commenting.
They really
These guys hate scoring runs in Payton Tolle starts. And, my kind of
they're allergic.
View, they're allergic to momentum. As I think, was that Obi or was that Maloney who said that?
I think it was actually Maloney. They're allergic to runs getting scored for them. They get no support.
Yeah,
Payton gets no support.
Yep, 100%. And my whole kind of overview on the series was they played 2 complete baseball games. They played like a professional baseball team, and then they played today like the 2026 Boston Red Sox. It's tough, but when you have a team like this that is in such a hole on the season, you'll take 2 out of 3 on the road against a team that's in a playoff spot. You'll take that every single time. And now, obviously, we have ahead of us. We'll talk about it later. I don't want to get into it now, but you're going to go to Colorado, another environment where it's really easy to score runs. The other environment where they've played a lot of games this year that's really easy to score runs, they haven't scored too many there.
Yeah, so that's an interesting comp right there. Yeah, embarrassing.
The next 72 hours are going to be really interesting for this club. And hopefully, I'm pretty sure that Bernardino's healthy right now, so I'd love to see what we do against him.
He's going to be the opener just to show the Red Sox what they're missing. I want to get to word of the day. I have a word of the day.
And now it's time for Nick Face's Word of the Day.
Even though the Red Sox did take 2 of 3 from the Mariners, I have this feeling of being underwhelmed. That's my word today. Underwhelmed. Because I feel like it could have still been better, John. Am I wrong with saying that?
It's really weird because I don't want to agree with you, but I kind of do. We're just like you won 2 out of 3, you hit home runs, you played good defense, you pitched well, and then obviously like losing on the getaway days are always kind of puts a funk on the series. Like I almost sometimes would rather lose 2 out of 3 but win that last game. It just losing on the last game of the series always just kind of leaves a stale taste.
Yeah, I hate it too. I feel like I went to like a 5-star steakhouse for dinner. And I'm leaving still hungry, not wanting to then go back, and just not getting the hype of the place that I went to. That I don't know why I feel that way, because we should be relatively okay. Taking 2 of 3 against the Mariners. It should be pat on your back. You kind of did your job. But I still feel like a lot of it, again, mental mistakes from today. The base running was a circus today. That's another thing that just drives me off a cliff. Not being able to hit the ball for Payton Tolle again. I think a guy that we all really enjoy watching, and they just can't get the job done from it. So underwhelmed, not satisfied, searching for more, because I think you could have done a better job. And that's me kind of being selfish, saying, well, if they won 3 of 3, if they swept the series, would I feel better and not as unsatisfied and not as underwhelmed? I don't even know, because I still feel it was like pulling teeth at times, again, to score runs or to just effectively get the job done. That's what it left me with.
Yeah, I mean, you brought up the steakhouse. It's like you got your steak was amazing, your mashed potatoes were amazing. Maybe you had some fries, maybe you had a nice glass of wine, and then you got a coffee at the end of the night, and it was just too bitter. It was cold. Maybe
dessert sucked. You're leaving
the restaurant with just you're not satisfied at the end of it. And we always talk about the momentum. You win 3 out of 3. You're like, all right, hey, now we get to go to Colorado and we get to go beat up on them. We could get a nice win streak. We could win 5 of 6.
Sure.
Now it's like, all right, now they have to prove it to me again.
Right.
And that's kind of where, where this team has fallen into these lulls this season where, they'll take 2 out of 3 and then you lose 2 out of 3 and then you get swept. And now we're just at rock bottom again. And we've felt like that we've been at rock bottom, for forever. It's every week. We typically get on here on Sunday and it's like, well, season's over again, which it is. They're not making the playoffs. So I'll say that now. It's over. But at least
have you
just
told
winning
Breslow
some
that?
games.
What's
up?
Did you yell at that sign when you saw it today? And did you tell Breslow they're not making the playoffs?
I threw me off guard. So my older brother and I, we were out with my dad, and oh my God, I was like, dude, this guy just follows me around.
Yeah, he does. Oh, if I saw that, I'd spit right in his face. I really would. See you later. The other thing that I was thinking of too, as I was losing when you lose on the Sunday, it's again that momentum killer. And wouldn't it have been nice to say you lost yesterday's game and then you won today, you carry that momentum into the next series with that, we can actually win. We can win a series. We can get it done instead of, we lost today. Now we got to pick it up again tomorrow. We got to fly to Colorado, different altitude, blah, 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 all that jazz. I that's the feeling that I get right now. But that's just me. What I do know is that John has lots of opinions on certain things. Sometimes they take 30 minutes. So let's listen to what the Martinello Hour has to say.
And now the part they don't want said out loud. No spreadsheets or corporate spin, just the truth, raw and impatient. This is the Martinello Minute.
Yeah, I'll keep it short. I'll keep it short tonight. But
no. Floor is yours.
Listen, I'll just kind of go over just the notes that I took. The simplified version for you. IKF, he's going on the IL. It's a forearm inflammation. He was in the lineup on Friday, scratched. Mayer was put in. Listen, that's a guy who, as much as I did not want him to be a part of this franchise, he's been really good this year. Defense has been great. The guy's nearly hitting 300. He's got a little bit of pop here and there. He's been great for this Red Sox team. And unfortunately, there were a couple quotes over the weekend with him, or maybe bleeding out over into the last series. But even he said it that he shouldn't be playing this much. He thought he signed here to be a bench player, to be a leader in the clubhouse, to be a mentor to the younger guys, and now he's out here playing 4, 5, 6 games a week, and that's a problem in its own right, but he's done really well in his opportunity. So I hope he gets better. Hope it's just the 10 days that he's on there for right now. And he gets right back out here. Speaking of injuries, Romy Gonzalez on his rehab assignment gets injured again. That's not fun. Hate to see that. And that's another guy that, we talk about just adding thump into the lineup. Obviously, he's not a superstar. He's not an all-star, but it's a guy that hit 300 last year. He had a 950, 960 OPS against left-handed pitchers. It's a bat in the lineup that this team desperately needs. So hopefully it's not, too big of a setback, because if this team wants any momentum at all, if they want to go on any sort of run to make things interesting over the summer into the second half of the season, he's going to need to be there. Caleb Durbin, keep going to take your hitting lessons, dude. Keep doing it. Since May 28th, over the last 20 games, he's hitting .319. He has 12 extra base hits, 4 home runs. He has 13 RBIs and a .611 slug. Unbelievable. I mean, we started shitting on him. I think it was in our first show after the first series against the Reds, where I think he went 0 for 8 or 0 for 9, and we were grilling him, about the number on his back. None of us ever said that he has to be Alex Bregman, which, I mean, if you look at the numbers, he kind of has been Alex Bregman this year. But he had a lot of expectations just because of the role that he was filling in for, just specifically what position he was playing at. He's playing on the field. And, over this past past 20 game stretch or so now since he started taking these hitting lessons at G Swing. Nothing to complain about. His defense has still been great. He's hitting the ball all over the place. He's hitting with pop. He just looks like he's starting to have fun playing baseball, and kind of just that you're playing for the Boston Red Sox. That's kind of in the back burner for him now. He's just playing baseball every day, and that's exactly the type of player that he has to be. He's not an all-star. He's not going to be, lighting up, the savant page. It's not going to be all bloody and whatnot. The stuff under the hood isn't going to be sexy, but he came in third place in NL Rookie of the Year voting last year. We need him to be a guy that is just, a guy in the lineup that you could depend upon. And honestly, before he even started getting like scorching hot like he is right now, I wanted to say it really badly. It was in my head. I wanted to tweet it out. I wanted to text it to you guys, but watching his at-bats are fun. He just because of the lack of strikeout and the lack of swing and miss, he just looks like a pest at the plate. And that's the exact type of player that I want to see in my lineup every single day.
Guess what? I'm going to agree with you wholeheartedly. And I am finally starting to see the guy that I actually got excited about when they traded for him.
Yeah, we were all excited. Go look at the footage. All of us.
The approach. This is another bold statement and a bold take that I think many of you will like. And I'm going to say it right now. The number one player who has benefited the most with Chad Tracy and the new regime here from the Red Sox, without Cora, without Fatsy, without Driveline, is Caleb Durbin. Caleb Durbin has fixed his game and got his game back to how he was playing with the Milwaukee Brewers. 1,000%. There's no arguing about it. Caleb Durbin has put the effort in. Kudos to him to fix what was wrong. And in a way, not reinventing the wheel, but going back to the approaches that were working for him with the Brewers. So going to G Swing in Waltham and identifying bad habits, naturally, probably what Driveline shoved down his throat, and ousted them. There is no more Driveline, folks. It's gone. Done. Sayonara. The approaches that are working for Durbin should be approaches that the majority of this team should follow pursuit on. That is what I will state right here, right now.
Absolutely. Going on, Sonny Gray came out about an hour and a half ago. He's open to having a conversation about waiving his no trade clause if the Red Sox decide to go in the selling direction. In quote, he said, if someone comes to me from the Red Sox and made a decision that the direction is this team, or geez, this quote's, I don't know how the hell this guy was taught. If someone came to me from the Red Sox and made a decision that's the direction that this team was going to go, I would be open for a conversation. Whatever happens from then, only time will tell, but I would be open to a conversation. So that's good to know, because obviously him and Contreras have no trade clauses and they have to waive them in order to be traded at the deadline. So we know, we heard it from him. I mean, he had the quote the other day that this team stinks. He wasn't wrong with that either. So Sonny Gray is open to being traded. I'm all right with it. We need that to happen in order for this team to pick a direction. And listen, once he gets dealt, he'll go to somewhere that has a chance of winning a World Series or making the playoffs. And, he's been great, and he's going to bring back a little bit of a decent return for us.
It's sad, though, because he's excelled here.
Yeah, he's been great. Listen,
it reminds me of Michael Walker back when Michael Walker was there.
Another one and done. But granted, he should have been dealt at the trade deadline, and he wasn't.
He wasn't. So we got a full season of that. You don't think Sonny Gray is a player that you would keep? I'm just curious.
Just because of the age, and obviously contract-wise, there's a lot of money, and it really the details really get murky about what the hell happens next year. Because I believe it's a club option. There's a lot of money there, and then there's like a buyout. I don't want to deal with it. But again, it's a guy that's old. I don't need, the 36 going on 37. He's been great, but for a team that's probably going to win at most 70 games, and then going into a season of questions regarding 2027, I'm all set on him. We'll get a couple more
What
starts
is he
out of him.
worth? What is he worth, though?
Luckily, it's not a decision for me to decide.
No, I want you to decide. You are my new GM of the Red Sox. What's he worth? See, that's what I keep saying. I don't think he's worth much.
So listen, it's going to be a seller's market this year. Obviously, there's way too many, especially in the American League. National League, not so much, just because teams have to compete with the Dodgers, so they really have to be in it to go ahead and buy. But there's only a handful of teams this year that are going to be sellers. So whatever the price is on him, it's going to be inflated to what it typically would be on a neutral, we'll say, trade deadline. But I'd expect probably a top, we'll just say from an average, farm system, somewhere around that like 4 to 6 overall prospect, and then maybe like a 10 to 14, 10 to 15. So everybody that is going to be sold, it's going to be prospect packages coming in. I just hope that these players that we're getting in return for these guys are going to be guys that are going to be ready to play Major League Baseball next year.
Well, that's the problem, is you can trade, and I said this on the show on Thursday night, you can trade anybody on the roster that you want. It doesn't do you any good if you have people who are employed that are your trainers, your coaches, your player development, all of
your
that
scouting
level,
department,
which has just been reinstated. What a clever idea that was.
I think somebody mentioned something about
if you have
scouting departments being good and very important,
right?
a couple of weeks ago on a podcast.
It's still wild to me how that even was acceptable to do that. But what I'm trying to get to is the fact that this does you no good if you don't have the right people that can get these players to be held accountable and become major league players. Because right now, it is an utter disaster. There isn't anybody outside of Connelly Early or Payton Tolle. I would even say maybe some of the bullpen arms. Guerrero might be halfway decent. That I have faith in that are going to develop and become quality major leaguers. All of the guys who are fielders, meaning your offensive guys. Tristan Casas, disaster. Roman Anthony, walking disaster. Kristian Campbell, which we're going to get to shortly, done. D-O-N-E, stick a fork in him. Marcelo Mayer, undetermined. Just undetermined. We don't know. And the list can go on and on from that. I could even say Carlos Nevarez has regressed this season after everybody thought, oh, look at El Capitan. He's going to be our new future. This is what drives me crazy, is we look at a small sample size of a month of a season and we pronounce these players, some of them that come up, the next Ted Williams, the next Nomar, the next Poppy, the next, Dustin Pedroia. You can't do that, folks. You can't, because then it screams to the players to set them up for failure. You can't do that. Let them come up and do their thing. If they're dog crap, send them back down. I'm sorry. If they're not ready, they shouldn't be in the big leagues. And the shame on the Red Sox ownership for allowing this season to begin with no leadership of a veteran presence that's there to show these guys how to be professionals.
Yeah, and it's not even
the reasons why Roman Anthony and Marcelo Mayer have been dog crap.
Yeah, and I mean, the sample size, it is what it is. I think the bigger part is just what roles do these guys that are coming up have? You look at any other team in the big leagues, when their number one prospect comes up, they're not hitting leadoff like Roman Anthony had to. They're hitting 6th through 8th, maybe even 9th in the lineup. Look at Connor Griffin. The guy's, he came up, he was not great for his first 50, 70 at bats, like how most guys aren't. And then he started getting hot. Where did he go? Look in the lineup where he hit every single day? 6th to 9th. Mm-hmm. And then once he started getting really hot, they moved him up in the order. And then obviously he got hurt. Unfortunate. Hopefully he's back soon because he's really fun to watch play baseball. But again, all these guys that come up, they're not put up in the top of the order. They're not the driving piece of a lineup. They're not supposed to be. They shouldn't be. And, the biggest problem with the Red Sox that we've pointed out has been just these young players are way too important in determining whether the Red Sox win or lose a game. And, it's just a lot of pressure on these guys that shouldn't be the reason why the Red Sox have a 31-44 record or why they have a 44-31 record. It shouldn't be on the guys that are 22, 23, 24 years old. And that's really, when you trade away the 29-year-olds, that is the face of your franchise for, I don't even want to say his name, but for, you trade away Rafael Devers and you get what that package was back. Getting young guys is great, but you also need the veterans in the clubhouse to guide them and to just teach them what it is to be a Major League Baseball player. And obviously we're seeing now there's a lot of, these guys are just going out every single night in Boston. These guys are,
the
we lost the
nightlife
game. We lost again. Whatever. It is what it is. We'll go get them tomorrow.
Taking their ladies around town or going to the bar and doing all this. That has been the MO so far this season. And it shouldn't be.
Yeah. Because listen, these guys are allowed. They're 100% allowed to have social lives. They're allowed to go out.
Of course they are.
But the problem that there is just that once there's no one on the team right now that's gonna, when they come, I don't know, say that it's a 7 p.m. game on a Sunday and they were out until 3:00 in the morning, they come up, not feeling great. There has to be a veteran presence in the dugout, in the clubhouse, to call them out on that and to get them checked. Sure.
It's a leader. It's a guy that's been there, done that, knows the system, know what's going on, knows how to make sure the effort is there to make sure you can win that next game and to be prepared instead of being mentally checked out. I do want to jump into the Super Mario Brothers. Excuse me. Mickey Gasper, who today, if you did a double take when the lineup was released, was your number 3 hitter today for your Boston Red Sox. Why is this a talking point right now? Well, there's a couple different things I want to go over. Number one, I want to talk with John about what this hype is on Mickey Gasper. Number two, when you saw the lineup come out, did you punch your controller or throw your Super Nintendo out the window? 3, if this is continuously what we're going to be seeing right now, and not just Mickey Gasper, we can go with Anthony Seldier or whatever. Siegler, excuse me. Should we be taking a Tums to calm ourselves down? Because right now this is nothing but a barf bag. Okay.
Yeah, well,
let's get into it. Yeah. Go ahead, John.
The first thing I did today when I saw the lineup is I immediately sent it over to Jim to get his patented text back. I was looking very much forward to it, which is F this team. Secondly, what the hell is Mickey Gasper doing hitting third in my lineup? And then thirdly, what was the third part of that you asked?
The third part was if you need to take a Tums or a Pepsid or something like that for the rest of the season, if this is going to be a continued theme of Gasper in the 3-hole.
I hope it isn't. But you know what I did? I went out with my father and we did a booze cruise through New Haven, Connecticut.
And saw Brez.
So that's how I handled seeing him in the 3-hole today. And I had a ton of fun.
Why is there this much hype on Mickey Gasper? I think I know the answer, but I want to ask you your opinion. What is it? We're not here to crap all over this guy's life. He's a very nice gentleman. He's getting the opportunity to play. This is not a firing Mickey Gasper sort of thing. I just want to know organizationally, what the hell are we doing?
I mean, it kind of boils down to just he doesn't strike out much. It's 18%. He doesn't whiff. He doesn't chase. Puts the ball in play. That's really it. And that, for a lineup that is lacking so much on base, hard contact, I don't want to say he slots in well, but he's better than other pieces that you have. And listen, the other week when the anonymous executives hit pieces came out on the Red Sox. They also had just a lineup of AAA bats, and look who we're talking about.
Here he is.
But that's what we have right now from an offensive
It's
standpoint.
crazy how much he looks like Mario. It really is.
I mean, I love his mustache. I love it. But
this is the best graphic that's been made yet. 1000%. This was hit out of the park. But I would still take Mario and Super Mario Brothers to hit 3 versus.
I mean, yeah, he's got the fireball.
He does.
You play anywhere on the field.
And then I jokingly I don't know if I said it in our group chat or whatnot, but I said I seriously think the other missing piece to this Red Sox team is Princess Peach. She should be there for 4-hitter.
Oh, she was with Mayer post game.
Oh, that's right. Yep. So we'll see that come out shortly. Maybe it will come out right before the game tomorrow night. I think that's what the holdup might be. So right before first pitch, which again is at 8:30 tomorrow night, you'll see that. So then we'll be able to what's the other Super Mario, the dinosaur guy?
Oh, Bowser.
But yeah, Bowser can come and attack him. And if you want to call me Bowser, that's fine, because I'll put the fire out for y'all. So yeah, the whole Mickey Gasper thing is just an utter joke right now for this team. This is just who we are, what we're doing. John, I agree with everything that you said. The reason that he's there is from contact. I also think the reason that he's hitting in a spot like that, believe it or not, is to try and save Craig Breslow's job. The reason I say that is because everybody else in that lineup outside of Caleb Durbin, who's made the adjustments, is pretty much a boom or bust kind of guy, which we all knew going into the season. We all knew that they were going to strike out all kinds of times. They're a bunch of Jarren Durans. They think they're all a bunch of power hitters because they're super jacked and, oh, look at me, I can hit the ball this way. That's the struggle that's there. Even Wilson Contreras, who's had a good season so far, he's still one of those guys. Well, he'll have games like he just did today, bunch of strikeouts, and it's long ball city. I don't like that approach. I just don't. I never have. I never will. I am more of a contact kind of guy. Does that mean I am a fan of Mickey Gasper in the 3-hole? No. He's an 8 or 9 hitter. That's it. I don't know if I get more infuriated if he leads off or hits 3. I haven't come to that kumbaya moment yet. I don't know.
At least whenever he leads off, the guy draws a walk in the first 5 pitches of the game. I'll take that. But yeah, the 3.
So I think I'll settle for leadoff versus I will for the 3 spot. I think I'll settle for there. That's what would be for that. I would like to go to next our piece of take. I just got to find it. There it is. This is a segment that Jim brought to life, I want to say, about a month ago, where there's a certain topic that comes up that's to make you think long and hard about a decision or strategy or next kind of move that this organization could take. And I want to bring front and center right now our buddy, Kristian Campbell. Why I bring him up is because you really can't see us there. I wish we could kind of just move it a little bit, but I'll kind of hide on the little side right there. I bring this up because Kristian Campbell is having a horrific time in Worcester right now. Horrific. John had the numbers. He's hitting .94. Is that correct for the month of June?
He is hitting .098 over.
Excuse me. I'll give him the extra 4.
Yeah, .098 over 41 at bats in 12 games this month. One extra base hit, 18 strikeouts to 7 walks, and so 346 OPS.
When Connor Falefa went on the DL yesterday, naturally, I was like, oh, what about Kristian Campbell? What's happening with him? Well, after listening to those numbers and understanding more about it, can understand why they went with Anthony Sigler. 100%. My question that I have here on this is, me personally, it's really not a question. It's going to be more of a statement that I give you. Kristian Campbell will never crack the Boston Red Sox big league squad again. That's my statement.
Yeah, I mean,
what do you feel?
I hope it's wrong. And I put out a tweet the other day where I said, I'm at the point with Campbell where I just think that he'd benefit from being called up, despite how poorly he's been this year in Worcester. I think that there's, just a weight on his shoulder that he has to be that minor league player of the year that he was in 2024, where he went from, single A all the way up to triple A, dominated every single level. And I think that he just, he's just got this weight on his shoulders that he has to be that guy, the guy that's making $60 million in order to, get back here. I think that, if they do give him the opportunity to come back up, it's not going to be because he, starts hitting the crap out of the ball in Worcester, but I don't want to say he deserves it, but I think I just need to see it. I need to see him just wear a Boston Red Sox jersey again and see if that, takes the weight off his shoulders and if he could just have fun. And maybe, maybe that turns something. This is a team that they're on a 65 win pace, right? Like, what is there to lose? Give him an opportunity. If he's horrible, then you could just put him right back down to Worcester. You're not going to lose more games because there's another 200 hitter in the lineup. And if he does great, he does great. And, maybe it was just that he was playing in the minor leagues and he didn't belong there.
Yeah, I mean, we have seen over history that some guys just don't do well with the minors. They just don't. And then they come up to the big leagues and they shine. Here's a great example of this. Remember Daniel Nava?
Of course.
Daniel Nava was not a great minor league player. He had to work his way up, and then finally, I think he bypassed. So I can't remember which level. Maybe he only got to like single A or something, and the Red Sox needed somebody to come up during the 2012 season. I think that's when we first saw him and debuted and caught kind of lightning in a bottle and became a fan favorite and found his way on the big league team. Could that be another case that's right there? That would be amazing if it was. I'm not saying it doesn't happen, but this right here just seems so mental to me that I feel like the Red Sox just screwed this guy up royally for his entire career.
Yeah.
I even feel like if another team wanted to take a flyer,
who would? He's got a $60 million contract. Why wouldn't
nobody would?
You have to eat money on a 24-year-old. How crazy is that to say?
The $100 million mistakes over in Worcester between him and Bayo right now. It's just, it's a travesty. Rusney Castillo looks cheap right now compared to this mess. It's sickening. I like the kid. I was thrilled for him last season when he came up and he got his opportunity. The back of my mind, I was saying to myself, is he really ready for this still? Is he too young? Do we have a position? That's the biggest question that we had. And then the poor kid just went downhill from May on. And I think he found himself back to Worcester. Was it mid-June?
Yeah, mid to end of June last year.
And he just has not been able to find his place. I feel for the kid. I want him to succeed. I want him to do well. This is not me coming at him being a hater. This is me just coming at you being realistic. It is me saying, I just don't think the Red Sox are going to give him another opportunity in the big leagues to figure things out. So what that's going to mean, it's probably going to be years away, stashed in Worcester until maybe a release. Tell me the last
Here's
time.
the thing, though. I don't think that we're not going to see him in Boston again just because he's getting paid $60 million. You at some point you have to see him again up here. And again, as I've been saying, I don't think it's going to be because he starts tearing the cover off the ball in Worcester. I think they just have to put him up here just because of the money.
Yeah.
So,
I think you're right. I think you're right. I just don't know when. It should be soon because if this season is going to be nothing, I'd rather know what you got. I'm sure John Henry's saying the same thing. Look at all this money I just gave this kid. We're just going to keep him in Worcester forever. So when that time's going to come, I don't know. I just was thinking yesterday when we saw Connor Falefa go down, I'm like, oh, shouldn't the next guy up be Kristian Campbell? Nope. Passed you by. Anthony Sigler, come on down. You are the next
leadoff hitter
on the Doomsday Red Sox. Anything else you want to add to this?
No, I said my piece. I just wanted he was so fun to watch in March and April last year.
Yes, he was.
I hope that we get I hope that's what he is, and it's just Worcester and just all this weight on his shoulders with the money and expectations. It's tough because I think we could both agree that he is a mental player, and it's just a lot of pressure on him.
It's a lot of pressure playing in this city. We know it's just a matter of figuring out and getting yourself back to the big leagues and finding your way again. That's what we want to root for.
Yeah, if only there was a guy, who's won World Series before that could be a mentor to him, but that guy doesn't exist on the Red Sox anymore. Speaking of former Red Sox.
Speaking of not existing on the Red Sox anymore, old buddy, Rafael Devers. Did you catch wind, folks, of what's up with Rafi land? Well, Rafi thinks he's Jaron Duran or something, and he's got the wheels of the city and is not worthy of being pinched ran for and wants to cause a temper tantrum on getting pulled in the game, which was this afternoon, correct?
Yeah. 2-1 ball game, top of the ninth inning. Gets walked and refuses to get pitch ran for by a guy with elite speed.
Yeah.
Waved him off. I forget who came out here, but the pitch runner literally walked up to first base, and Rafi the whole time waving him off, him off, and to the point where this poor kid's just like turning around. He's like, "What the hell do I do?" And then eventually, of course, Rafi, it gets announced that there was a substitution, so Rafi then at that point has to walk off the field, goes in the dugout, pushes away a bench coach, and sits down, feeling sorry for himself.
Does he not remind you so much sometimes of the behavior of Manny Ramirez?
A little bit, yeah. Although Rafi wasn't begging to get traded to a minor league affiliate, but yeah, he's another guy that
a lot of similarities.
And I don't want this to get want this to get blown out of proportion. Like he's a bad guy. He's a child. He just wants to be out there, and he takes things, I think that we could both agree, probably a little bit too seriously or too personally. But yeah, Ian Brown had a great tweet. He said, "What a fitting way to celebrate this trade from last Father's Day," which, as we all know, he was traded on Father's Day last year. Obviously the dates don't align up. But he said, "I heard that he got equally pissed at Cora one time for getting pitch run for, but that one was kept behind the scenes." And I believe, I don't know when that was, but there was a similar situation, I think last year, a couple weeks before he got traded in New York, where he just dogged a grounds ball. He hit a ground ball to second base and absolutely dogged it down the line. I can't remember if it was Jazz playing second base, but whoever was bobbled the ball. And, if he had not even been running, just jogging, he probably would have beat it out. And Cora had, death stare eyes at him when he walked back in the dugout. Listen, the guy's being paid $300 million. It's just getting blown out of proportion because it's, here's Rafi looking like a child again. And the Boston media, the ones that are being paid, by John Henry, they did their hit pieces on him last year. They're going to every opportunity to make the guy look bad. They're going to take full advantage of. So, I think it's a no story. It's just a Rafi being Rafi. But people are going to have a field day with it.
We are now going to go to our pitching probables. So the Red Sox will be taking part in the next series, which will be against the Colorado Rockies. That'll begin tomorrow night. I'm going to share my screen so we can go over these together and break it down. How's that sound? All right, so tomorrow we have Jake Bennett against Ryan Feltner. On Tuesday, you have Sonny Gray versus Sean Sullivan. And then Wednesday, which will be an afternoon game, I'm not going to say it. I'm
Your
not going to
favorite.
go there. Ranger Suárez will be up against Kyle Freeland. That sounds like a freeloader kind of game to me. Why don't we look at Monday first? Now, I have the Rockies page up on my computer that's right here because I just didn't feel like going to the Red Sox end on my computer. I'm just weird. I know. They actually start at 8:40 tomorrow night for our time here. Where are you at for tomorrow, John?
I'm petrified for Jake Bennett pitching in Colorado.
Mm-hmm.
I couldn't tell you who Ryan Feltner is. Honestly, says he has a 5.05 ERA this season.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
I couldn't tell
what
you
to
either.
think of it, but listen, the balls just don't move the same out in Colorado due to the elevation and the the density of the air. The ball moves differently. It comes out a lot flatter. Tomorrow's going to be a lot of offense. Can the Red Sox produce a lot of offense? I don't know. So it's going to be a weird series. I'm very
But remember, the one big thing here is that you are now facing a team that is also horrific like you. So
yeah.
What I previewed the last time when it was Thayer and myself, I go, we have the battle of suck and suck. Who sucks more is going to be what happens as this series goes on. Which team is worse than the other?
What do you got?
I am going to go with tomorrow night. I'm going to go with a Red Sox win. I am. I'm going with the win.
What's your score prediction?
It's going to be one of those odd ones because usually you see with higher elevation that there's more, scoring and everything that happens on this. I don't see that. I'm going to go with like a 6-3 game. 6-3. That's what I'm going to go with for my score for tomorrow night. Tuesday, you have a professional pitcher. Ho, look at that. Sonny Gray. I love those numbers. Look at that. 8-1 with a 3.12 ERA versus Sean O'Sullivan. Left-handed pitcher. So that's another thing that you want to think about. We got a lefty on Tuesday and a lefty on Wednesday as well. Where are you at for Tuesday night?
This Sean Sullivan, 23-year-olds. It says a 10.29 ERA. He's thrown 7 innings this year.
Mm-hmm.
Take advantage of it. You only get to play in Colorado once every 2 years. Go smash the crap out of some baseballs. Sonny Gray, obviously he's been our record-wise best pitcher this year. Obviously had the quote today about potentially getting traded. Every start that he makes until this trade deadline, when he will get moved, it's an audition for another team. So, he's going to be pitching with a competitive edge on Tuesday. He doesn't want to be, he doesn't want to fall victim to just being another pitcher thrown in Colorado. So again, I expect the Red Sox to win this game. I expect Sonny Gray to give us a quality start. The guy's been in the league for 35 years. He knows how to pitch. He's a professional. He's not going to just say, oh, fastball's a little bit flatter today. Sweeper's not sweeping as much as it typically does. Whatever. Mm-hmm. He'll give you a quality start, and I expect him to. So I got to win on Tuesday for Sonny Gray.
And then in the finale, the matinee on Wednesday, you have Ranger Suárez opposed by Kyle Freeland. If the Red Sox don't win on this Wednesday game, on the getaway game, I will retire from broadcasting forever and ever and ever.
So you got to win.
I am actually going with the Red Sox sweeping the Rockies. As nuts and crazy as I am, I'm going for a 3-game sweep. I'm out of my mind. I know.
Yeah, I'm going to go 2 out of 3. I think that they actually lose tomorrow. Now that I'm thinking about it, I think they're just going to light up Jake Bennett, and it's not going to be fun to watch. I think that the Red Sox will score, but I don't know. Jake Bennett, I'm terrified of him pitching in Colorado. This Rockies lineup isn't going to touch Ranger Suárez. That's not happening.
Nope. I'm not going to touch Sonny Gray, in my opinion, either.
And then, and then
can we, before we wrap this probables, could you do a search quick and find out what the numbers for Sonny Gray in Colorado are facing there and Ranger Suárez? That might be something good for us to take a look at. Yeah, and I can share the screen if you can find that quickly. But yeah, that's just kind of where I'm at. The Rockies are the worst team in baseball. You're the second worst team in baseball. Maybe they can get a trophy after this series is done and the Red Sox can take 3 and they can bring that home. Wouldn't that feel great, folks? That'd just be amazing. Just sweep 3 from the Rockies. I'm saying that sarcastically because it's a joke. But if the Red Sox don't at least take 2 of 3, we'll be in lots of selling problems.
First thing I'm finding is just Sonny Gray versus the current Colorado Rocky hitters.
Okay.
They are 2 for 18 off of him, 3 walks, 7 strikeouts. It's a 111 batting average at 349 OPS. Only guys that have a hit against him are Tyler Freeman and Troy Johnson. But he's only faced 5 of them. I know I could find his numbers career-wise against these teams. Let's see this. Last time he pitched against them was in 2024. He only has 3 career games against them.
All right. Okay. I thought in the National League he may have been there a little longer.
2 of them at Colorado. According to this, 7 innings in Colorado in his career, a 1.29 ERA. He's faced 28 batters.
Okay.
Yeah, so I'll take it. Let's see, Ranger.
The reason I bring it up is because there's usually pitchers who can't pitch in Colorado. Curt Schilling was one of those guys. If I remember correctly, wasn't John Lester one of those guys that just could never, outside of when the World Series was, somebody just could never pitch in Colorado? Oh, it was Tim Wakefield.
That makes sense.
Yeah, with the knuckleball in the out. Yeah, Tim Wakefield had a
that's
very difficult
God, that's just got to
time.
be BP, right? You got to skip his start.
Yeah. Schilling did not have good numbers at Colorado.
Ranger Suárez in 40 2/3 innings. There's a lot more here, so I'm not going to do the home and away, but he's got a 2.43 ERA against them. Won 3 games on the road, 4 games on the road. His last 2, which were, one was 24, one was in 25. One game he went 6 innings and gave up 4 runs.
Okay.
And then his most recent start was 6 2/3 of shutout baseball.
Well, it's a mixed bag there.
Yeah.
One's 4, 1's 0, so kind of meet in the middle. So nothing that screams alarming to me on any of those. And you can't take anything on what Jake Bennett's done because he's never thrown against the Rockies. So it looks like, at least with Sonny Gray and Ranger Suárez, there's some confidence, at least knowing that they can get the job done in with the Rockies in Colorado. So that's a plus. So if you're looking for at least some sort of positive spin on things, maybe 2 out of 3 may be the way. Jake Bennett's the one that's just such a wild card, but I'm gonna betting man. I'm gonna go with the sweep still. I'm still going with it.
You have a wild prediction, real quick. If you have a wild prediction for the series, what do you got? If it's somebody hitting 3 home runs in a game, or what's the wild prediction you have?
Marcelo Mayer has a hell of a series. Couple homers. I think we'll see. I'm going to say a couple homers. I am.
Even with the 2 left-handed pitchers?
Yep. I think we'll see more of it. Probably one of those tomorrow, I'm going to say. And then just for shits and giggles, he'll add another one in on Wednesday. I swear to God, I'm public enemy number 1 for this guy right now. So I'm going to keep going with it. I'm going to go with it. If I'm that punching bag for him, if he's got my face up on a wall that says, F this dude, cool. If it means you're going to produce, go right ahead, buddy. Go ahead. Prove me wrong. So I'm gonna keep calling him out because I think it works. So let's see what happens. I do think Wilyer Abreu, though, in all logic, will probably have a nice series here too.
I hope so.
That's my thought. All right. It is now time for Jim's favorite segment, but also mine because I can't wait to torch this person. John, I think you know what it is. It is time for that dipshit.
And now it's time for everyone's favorite segment, the Dugout Dipshits.
Okie dokie, folks. I've been waiting all night for this one because I can't wait to annihilate this imbecile on this show right now. So here we go. We're going to put it up. So with the whole thing that was going on with the Marcelo Mayer stuff, this guy, Matty Kahn, 1215, was coming at me to the fact that I think we all understood the reasoning. Being a professional, not producing, not being good enough as a player. So he goes, brother, this team has won 4 World Series in 20 years. Relax. How many more championships do you want? Let these guys live a little. They're having a bad year. It happens. Their 2 best players are injured. We'll dissect this after we read word for word. So I go, so it's okay to you the Red Sox are an utter embarrassment right now. Get with the program. He goes back. They were a playoff team last year. They're not good this year. It happens in pro sports. Where have you been since 2019? And you seriously are including last season. Good God, you are pathetic. Disgusting excuse of a baseball franchise who has tailspin out of control. The Red Sox are the laughingstock of baseball. It's people like you who need a slap of reality. He goes, the laughingstock of baseball. They won. Continued it. The Red Sox worst season since 2019. They won 78 games, by the way, 89 wins last year and 92 wins in 2021. Laughingstock of the league, the Colorado Rockies won 43 games last year. But then again, facts don't matter to you, do they? And then I go, dude, what is wrong with you? You want to compare the Red Sox to the Rays and the Colorado Rockies? Are you for real now? There's a massive outlier to the entire equation. John Henry, who is worth billions of dollars. On what planet as a Red Sox fan is 2019 through 2026 acceptable? John, who's right on this?
This guy, I don't get what the hell this guy's argument even is.
He's mad at me because I went after Marcelo Mayer because he thinks he's a kid and he thinks he should be put up on a pedestal and get away with anything that they want.
I mean, his first like point was that their 2 best players are hurt. Their 2 best players were god awful. Roman was hitting 210, and Crochet had a 7 ERA. Mm-hmm. So. Whatever, man. Some people just aren't worth, in my opinion, some people just aren't worth the argument.
He just needed to be exposed because that was one that you needed to hit the Tylenol bottle with. You just did. After seeing the time and effort that he put to doing that, we call those things, it's called thank you for engaging. So yes, as much of an imbecile as he was, or a dugout dipshit as we call this, we appreciate the engagement for helping me to get to 1 million impressions on Twitter, which was yesterday. So thank you so much for being our, not just dipshit of the day, dipshit of the year for that take. Moronic. Absolutely moronic. All right. Now it is time for comments. Let's take a look and see what we got. From Matt, he goes, hey guys, still feels like it's like a series loss. Kind of what I was talking about, just that unsatisfied sort of feeling is how I felt. Just it left you with wanting more. Matt, again, I seriously feel like guys are just hurt because they don't want to play. I don't know. That sounds ridiculous, but that's just my opinion. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, it kind of felt like today, just they won the series yesterday, and then they roll in today, just we won the series. We did our job. And they just fell right back into exactly what's been wrong all season, where it's just uncompetitive at bats one after another. You get a guy on base and then it's a 3-pitch strikeout, or lack of attention. You get a guy on base and then he gets picked off. It's just really frustrating when, you start to build this momentum and then it's just immediately ripped out. And as I said earlier, you sweep the series, you feel really good going into Colorado. You lose today in how they did. If they lost 7-8 and it was just an incredible baseball game, I'm completely fine with losing that way. But when you lose 1-3 and just lifeless at bats from the first inning to the ninth, now
they didn't want to play today.
Yeah, now you just didn't. Now you just feel like if you don't sweep in Colorado, even though say you take 2 out of 3, it just feels like a failure of a road trip, despite the road trip being having a 4-2 record. So yeah, it's just losing games like how this team loves to lose games is just very frustrating.
Matt goes, Nick, why are people getting on you from your tweet when it may have helped him? Exactly. I don't get it either, because I will say one of the things that's bothersome with anything that Twitter and X does is people have an opinion and they can't read and understand and comprehend sometimes what people are actually saying. So I think that's why that turned into as much engagement as it did. It was very much a 50-50 back and forth. There were some that agreed. There were many likes. There were many comments that said, hey, I'm right with you. You're bold enough to make that stance, blah, blah. And others just wanted to throw me out into Stero Drive. And that's where it gets really dangerous, I have to say. It gets dangerous. I got thick skin. I can take it because I understand it helps to build an audience. It helps to engage. It helps to interact. It has to do with our pod and making sure that we can get a good audience that can understand what we're saying and where we're at from certain things at a more realistic approach. But yeah, that was probably the most shocking experience I've ever had in my life with Twitter and X. It really was. And that had no expectation going into it. It had nothing. It was more so just to kind of show leadership, have accountability, get back to being what the Red Sox from the 2000s to the 2018 era were pretty much all about, at least in my eyes. Matt, they don't win Tolle starts for some blankety blank reason.
They don't.
They just don't.
They hate it. Who was it? Nick Pivetta, I think it was in 23, I want to say, maybe 24, he went on a stretch of like 10, 12 straight quality starts, and the Red Sox average like 1.5 runs per game. That's just some
players like. That they just couldn't get runs to save their life.
What was it last
Eddie
year?
Rodriguez had a season like that at some point too.
Yeah, I think Bayo in, I think last year or maybe in 24 when he was, a 4.5 ERA. It was 24. That dude would get like 7.5 runs a game. And it was in 24 because he led the team in wins with close to 20 with like a 4.5 ERA, just because the offense Bayo's pitching. All right, yeah, we're gonna go score 8 today. But yeah, no, some pitchers get it, some pitchers don't. Unfortunately, Tolle's had the short end of the stick this far in his career, because it was the same thing last year.
Contreras is starting to stink up the house, and I'll tell you why. Because I complimented him about a week ago. I said, boy, it's nice to have a professional hitter that's in your lineup who's getting it done and we can count on. Ever since I said that, right down the crapper. Matt again. John, is your brother all right? I think this had to do with the Breslow seeing that poster, maybe.
Maybe. I don't know. My as far as I know, my brothers they're hanging in there okay. Yeah. Maybe he knows something I don't.
Matt, again, it's the way they lose that infuriates me. I'm right with you. Stubby might be our best player right now. Who's he talking about?
Durbin.
Oh, okay. I see it now. Yeah. I get it. Yep, that's right. He is right now. 100%. Jules. Idiots look at Savant. See Bresbot. Same here. Are you all bots? Look that way.
I like Savant a lot. Also, because it just, I don't know. I think it's a great resource, and beyond just the percentile rankings that you see at the top of the page, you dive deep into it. It's a great extension to, see what's going on. Why things happen, why guys sit some days, why they play some days, where they are in the order, who they excel against, what they're not good against. Baseball Savant and Fangraphs are great extensions to learn about the analytical side of baseball.
And then Matt's just going over prospects and how much time it takes for them to develop. He said 2 years, then another one, maybe a year, depending on who it is. I would agree. Are either of us concerned with Roman? Me personally, yes, I am. I think he's made of glass personally. I'm pissed with Roman Anthony right now. I really am. John, I don't know about you, but I'm
not. I think the injuries are super unfortunate. It sucks.
I think he's a wuss.
But it's the two injuries that he's had are both things that you can't do any training to prevent. Can only, you can't do any oblique strengthening to prevent it from, getting a strain. This finger ligament issue he's got right now, it's the first time it's ever happened before. Nobody's ever seen it before. It's, it's been unfortunate injuries, and it is what it is. If he comes back, he's here for a month, and then he hurts his pinky toe, then I'll be concerned about his health. But to this point,
John,
it's just been unfortunate.
I agree, it's unfortunate, but you have, let me check, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 fingers, correct?
Correct.
Okay.
Most people do.
They make most. Yes, most. Some get chopped off with a chainsaw if they're in, never mind. Anyways, they do make something in baseball called batting gloves. That's one thing. And they do make certain things called splints. That I do know. What I don't know is if there's been any thought on changing the grip of how you swing and going up to the plate. Say it's my index finger. I don't remember which finger it is. And swinging the bat like this. Number one, it's not going to damage the finger because it's in a splint and it's doing its thing. And I can still figure out how to hit the ball. Am I not wrong on at least having that conversation?
Not at all. I think it's a totally fair conversation to have. And a lot, they've talked about that. It's, a lot of pain tolerance at this point. There's not too much more healing that could happen. But at least for me, hitting, every time I step up, my hands have to be in a certain spot, shoulders have to be a certain way. A lot of it's just feel, and if he's not comfortable changing those things up, so be it.
But then we should be allowed as fans then to have an opinion on that.
100%, yeah, raising the question, 100% fair. Absolutely.
Because I think he's the spokesman for Charmin Soft right now. The toilet paper right now. I do. I don't know if this was in the middle of a pennant race, if he'd play. I swear he wouldn't still.
Maybe. I don't know. It's I don't think that he's.
And this shouldn't just be a Roman Anthony discussion.
What's up?
I was going to say, this really shouldn't just be Roman Anthony that I'm lumping into this too. I think it's the whole look of Major League Baseball with some of players right now.
Sure.
I do.
Sports
There's
in
no
general,
more
honestly.
Ironmans. There's no more your Cal Ripkens, your Derek Jeters, play through everything, have to be out in the field to help my team.
Yeah.
There isn't anymore. I know a lot of it has to do with
I think
contracts and protection. I get it. But as a fan who wants to see some of these players play and produce to be a part of your team, and you see them with all these little nagging injuries, I'm going to say this is just a little injury. I am. I'm going to say this is an injury that if he has pain tolerance, should get his butt back out on the diamond and play. Because right now, all he's doing, in my opinion, is making fans like myself have an opinion. And that opinion is not very good right now of what I think the level of this player is going to be over the long haul.
Yeah, but I mean, the way I see it is, look at their record. They're not going to go anywhere. And if he were to come back and because it's hurting, he, just hesitant or cautious with his swing or not swinging full intent, and he not performing well offensively, then it's just like a snowball effect of opinions and chatter and, negative press or whatever you want to call it. So I mean, if this team had a 500 record and they're fighting to stay afloat, I'd very much want him, like, dude, you kind of just have to suck it up. But just because of where the team's at, I could care. I want to see him play. I wish he was playing tomorrow.
I do too.
Betty
goes, hi guys. Did you cover the drama with Rafi? What's worse with what happened in Boston? He's gotten bad. We covered it. We talked about not wanting to come out of the game and everything right there. And then Betty goes, I bet Buster Posey wants to trade him back. The Giants do not want Rafael Devers anymore. Period. End of discussion. But nobody wants to take that contract on. So the last laugh is John Henry's right now. That's just what it is. They want to get rid of Matt Chapman as well as Luis Suárez. There's another player that they wanted to get. Yeah. Willie Adames, right?
Too.
Yep. Yeah. Yep. They want to rid themselves of those horrific contracts. So the Giants, in a way, were the Dodgers of past years from the Red Sox, in a way that they were the gift that gave. Well, the Red Sox traded Devers and all that contract away. And you can really say that money really still hasn't been used to give them back some sort of a star power. You just can't. Yeah. Gasper should not be catching. He should not.
No.
If they want to have him be in the lineup DH, it's fine. Betty, we went over that. I don't want him. If he's going to lead off, it is what it is. For the love of God, I cannot put him as my number 3 hitter. No. Thank you, Betty. I try my best to always come at it with a more of a comedic approach. It's always kind of my style. I like to make sure people can laugh and engage and have fun with it. It's always been my forte on kind of how I roll. They can't hit good pitching. No, they cannot. Betty again, I watched the San Francisco game today. So wound up about Rafi. It was so bad. Matt Campbell, sorry. Again, people is Campbell hurt? If not, they need a sports shrink. They've needed a sports shrink for a long time. Do you remember Bob Tewksbury?
No.
So he used to be a NESN analyst up until I think 2004 season. And he was somebody that was working in the sports psychologist kind of transition after he was done with NESN. That was his role. I think they need to talk to Bob Tewksbury here a little bit and figure out a happy medium to get them through it, because there's too many players that have a lot of unfortunate mental breakdowns on this team that needs to be fixed. And it's concerning. Campbell don't care. He's got a contract because Breslow is a genius. I don't know if that was more Breslow or it was John Henry more so, because again, they have to think that they're the smartest guys in the room in getting these bargain deals done. Kristian Campbell was one, Brian Bayo was another, Roman Anthony, just to name a few, Garrett Crochet, all on the cheap, at least in their opinion. So I don't know how much you want to lump Breslow into this, because I do not think he was the sole decision maker on any of these. Next up, I want Bayo and Campbell to get help. They just need it. They need a psychiatrist, which would be a good thing. Completely agree.
Might be another guy who needs a psychiatrist right now.
They need to get rid of Breslow, not a shrink. That too. I think they need both. And then back again to Betty. She agrees, but a shrink can help the both of them. She goes, oh my MG, listen to NorCal Sports, my other chat. You should have seen his demonstration in dugout. Was that must be one of the Giants?
Yeah, what their
broadcasters
broadcast
of some sorts. Yep. Cox was a pinch runner. That was for Devers. Well, this is interesting. This is a new person, Linda Pizzuti. Hi, Linda. Always great to have your support. Anthony and Meyer, two biggest losers in Boston sports history. I don't know if I'd go that far
harsh.
yet.
That's
harsh. Yeah. That's harsh. I want to see a little bit more of them. It hasn't been good so far, and I'll call a spade anytime I can. And Roman Anthony and Marcelo Mayer have really been a big disappointment for 2026, and truly are probably two of the biggest reasons why 2026 has been a disgrace. I'll even be as bold on that stance as I can.
Yeah,
it's been that bad.
You could say that, and you're 100% correct. But then you could also say they also shouldn't be. This team shouldn't have the record that they have because they haven't been great players this year.
Totally agree on that.
You know, it's unfair on them too.
They can't win if they don't score a run.
That is not harsh. That is correct.
This is interesting. The toilet bowl. Is that what we want to call the Red Sox for 2026? The toilet bowl? Flush our sorrows away? I guess so. Matt, anything but a sweep against the Rockies is an embarrassment. That's why I'm going for 3. If you take 2 or 3, it's okay. But if you only win 1 or if you win none, I want the Red Sox to just stay in Colorado. Just stay there. Just be done with it. Done. I think Betty's got a thing for me. What do you think, John?
Maybe. That's a nice message.
It is. Isn't bad enough. I made one comment. Okay. Yep. Sucks so bad the season is a wash. I'm going to the game Tuesday in Denver, and I wish I truly wanted them. And I wish I truly wanted them to win. So, Mr. Daddy here must want them to lose to hopefully help. What?
You called him what?
I called him Daddy. What? What? Daddy Cool. That's his name. Whatever. I don't know where you're going with that, but we'll talk after the show if I did something wrong. Roman's injury, can't swing the bat, and they need to fix him. Yes. I think that is it for our comments. John, final stance, final words.
Yeah, guys, let's get Caleb Durbin into the All-Star game, right? Why not? Durbin to Philadelphia.
They got to have somebody representing them. Not a bad stance on that. Who do you think it would be, though, in all realistic standpoints for them to be an all-star? Who is it? Who is their representative?
Wilson would be my best guess. I really wish the answer was Willie Abreu, but he's kind of, as he's always been, he's a 2 weeks hottest hitter on the planet, 2 weeks coldest hitter on the planet. So I don't think that he's going to get any bids.
There's an obvious one. It's Aroldis Chapman.
I don't know if he just doesn't even have the innings to be a qualified pitcher at this point out of the bullpen.
Yeah, that is true.
He's got 21 and 2/3 innings this year.
Sonny Gray, maybe Sonny Gray is
Sonny Gray. Yeah, I think it'll. You could say Sonny Gray. You could say Ranger Suárez. Sadon is definitely a candidate. And then Wilson's.
Because they got to have at least
the
one.
Most obvious one. Yeah, they have to have one. So, selfishly, I hope that it's Sadon. I think he deserves it. But we'll see. It's going to be somebody. It won't be more than one though.
That's another thing. Well, they do have coaches picks, don't they too? So maybe somebody gets chosen as
the coaches vote as well.
I'd be pretty surprised if Aroldis Chapman isn't there. I really would.
It would be it would be interesting if he wasn't, but I understand why if he's not selected.
Yep. All right, folks, that's going to do it here for our pod. We went an hour and a half tonight. I'm exhausted. I'm sure John is too. We appreciate all of you watching. Once again, you can subscribe and watch and do all those sorts of fun things at redsoxdigest.com. There's also a link that you can help support us. We do this out of the goodness of our heart. So if you think we're worthy of some sort of a tip of appreciation, you will be our friend forever. We will say that. For Nick and John, we will see you again next time for our next episode, which will likely be probably Wednesday as we wrap the series against the Rockies. We hope everybody has a great week. We'll see you midweek. Have a good one, everybody. And again, happy Father's Day to those out there who do celebrate this special day. See you soon.